First things first, the instructions. I don't know. I'm just gonna hook it up, we're gonna fire it up, and we're gonna see if it works. How's that sound? I don't know all the mumbo jumbo and all the lingo and the this and the that. All I know is this is a plasma cutter. I don't know if this is supposed to swivel. What's up, everyone? Mike with this old hot rod. It's been a minute since I talked to you guys, since I've done a video. I want to get out to the garage. One thing I wanted to do and I didn't get done, I wanted to open up the garage doors, or at least that one. I want to roll this fabrication table over and outside the door and just clean up this surface. This is what it looked like since I've got it. It's kind of nasty. It's definitely been painted a few times. I mean, it's red, it's orange, blue, it was gray. I don't want to make a huge mess inside the shop. I've already gone through 2 filters on my furnace, and this one's, as you can see, it's starting to darken up already. I bought a box of them, I got 2 left. This is what we're doing. Yes Welder reached out to me a little bit before Christmas, said, would you be interested in doing a collaboration? I said, absolutely. I want to build relationships with companies that want to build relationships with me. They didn't ask me, you know, what product I wanted. They just said, we want to send you a plasma cutter. I said, okay. And they did. We're going to see what comes with the plasma cutter. And we're going to get this thing set up, hooked up. Basically, I think you just need air. So I want to make sure I don't get any water inside the plasma cutter, because that's not going to do me any favors. The last thing you want is water when you're using a plasma cutter. So I want to make sure your air is nice and dry. I think I saw that they do come with a filter, so I want to make sure I hook up that filter and I get as much of the moisture and condensation out of the line that would be in my line. That's the box. Let me get this thing hooked up. Let's see what we got. Got some scrap pieces of steel. I don't have anything real super thick. It says this thing cuts up to 1/2 inch. I don't typically use 1/2 inch for anything. I don't really know what I would use 1/2 inch material for in an old hot rod. 1/4 inch, 3/16, 1/4 inch, 3/8, maybe. 220 volts, 55 amps. So I think that's where they get the CUT, the CUT55DS. So cranked up to 55 amps. They say this thing cuts through 1/2 inch steel. Let's get into what we get with the package inside the box. We'll get all this stuff laid out, and we'll go over it, figure out what's what, and we're gonna get this thing set up and put it through its paces. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited to try this out. I've watched a few other videos on YouTube that people have done, and it seems like it works pretty good. Let's go over what you get in the package when you order this. So right out of the box, the machine is set up for 110 volts, the typical 110 volt plug. Then you have this adapter here that plugs onto it, which will go into a standard 220 plug, which is what we're going to be using. If you guys want me to do a review on the machine using a 110 plug, just let me know in the comments. Let's put that down there for now. The 2 little hose clamps, that's for this hose. This is most likely going to be for our air supply. I don't know that we'll need the whole hose. Alright, so we're going to put that here. AFR combination, so I think this is our airflow control. So this is our water separator and air valve. It already has some sealant on the threads, however I did grab Teflon tape. This is a little bracket that you mount it with. You see here, this pops off. This will go on here. There's a little tab that it locks in place. That will thread down like that. And then this will mount on the back of the machine. There's already an air inlet on the back of the machine. I don't know if there's sealer in that or not. This here is the torch. The torch plugs into this far right port. This is my trigger switch here, my lead, my arc starter. This is to control the arc start. I don't know. I'm just gonna hook it up, we're gonna fire it up, and we're gonna see if it works. How's that sound? All right, so this is my voltage regulator here, my dial. So we're gonna start at 20 amps. We have, that's cutting. You can hear the air coming through there. And we have 2T and 4T. I'm gonna start on 2T. I think that's where you're supposed to start. And we're gonna cut some sheet metal. Actually, I don't think we need to be at 20. Let's go to 10. Got my ground clamp on here. Hopefully that will work. Got a nice long, real long lead, which is nice. All right, we got molten metal here. Let's try this again. You have to go nice and slow, but when you do, it works perfectly. I'm gonna use a guide and see how straight of an edge I can cut with it. Not too bad. The best part about it is no dust. So there's a cool down feature afterwards, which is like a post flow, I guess. I think I need to slow down a little bit, get used to this machine, figure out the do's and the don'ts, and then do a proper review. But just gonna have some fun with it for now and try to get comfortable with it, and then see if in fact it's something that I would use in my garage. Already, just cutting these few pieces of sheet metal, I would definitely use this machine. All right, let's keep going. All right, so this is 18 gauge sheet metal. I have the machine set on 20 amps, but I have my air pressure cranked up. I'm gonna go back down to 15. Went down to 15 amps. I'm leaving my air pressure the same. All right, so I went down to 15 amps. It's still cutting it just fine. You go, like I said, you get nice and smooth, go real smooth. It cuts it no problem. I'm gonna drop it down to 10 amps. Let's drop it down to 10 amps. All right, you see, 10 amps. Let's see how the machine does at 10 amps. And this is 18 gauge sheet metal, and I'm plugged into 220. So like I said, this little trigger guard comes in pretty handy. Some people, it may bother some people, but I think for safety reasons it makes sense to have it, and I think that's a nice feature. All right, so that's 10 amps, leaving my air pressure the same. It cuts it. Gotta go real slow, but it cuts it. I guess this is there to cool the metal, which makes sense. gonna put the machine back up to 20 amps. And I'm gonna take this piece of 1/8 inch flat stock. We're gonna see how the machine does. We know it will cut sheet metal. I'm gonna keep my air pressure the same. We're gonna see how the machine cuts on 20 amps, plugged into 220 volts. And we're gonna see how it cuts 1/8 inch flat stock. My ground strap put on. Again, I'm just clamping it right through my pinch clamp. A really nice long lead. I'd say it's probably 10 to 12 feet, which is nice, real long. Let's see how she does. 20 amps, 1/8 inch steel. I do need gloves, however. Burn my hand. I should have had gloves on the whole time. All right, 1/8 inch steel, 20 amps. All right, it cut it. Took a few passes. The air pressure is at about 25 psi. Yeah, cut it, no problem. Went a little bit faster that time, but it cut it. Let's see if I can get you guys a little bit closer without damaging the camera. Let's see how it does burning holes, circles. Like I said, when the metal goes away, the arc stops. Run a drill through that, you'd probably be in business pretty quick. See if I can go a little bit bigger. Tell you what, that's not too bad. It's my first time using one of these, so you can see it down there on the ground. You relax. All right, I dropped it down to 15 amps. I'm gonna see if I can cut another circle at 15 amps. 1/8 inch steel. No, I think that's a bit much. See if I can get through it again, second pass. There we go. And bump it back up to So for a guy like me, I think this little guide here is a huge help. I don't have any experience with a plasma cutter, and that helps, I guess, keep the tip or the nozzle off the metal or whatever material it is you're cutting, aluminum, stainless, whatever. Maybe in the future, if I got a little more comfortable with it and I felt okay taking that guide off, I'd probably be okay with it. But for now, being a rookie, I think it's a pretty good thing to have that there. And again, like I said, I mean, I don't mind this trigger guard. I'm kind of been cheating. You can still pull the trigger without flipping that guard up. So maybe after a while, it would probably get maybe a little bit of be a nuisance. But again, I mean, all in all, I'm happy with this machine. So at 20 amps, we're not even halfway to the maximum. So at 20 amps, it'll cut 1/8 inch steel. So I figured 3/8 was better than nothing. I want to see what we need to run the machine up to in order to get it to cut this 3/8 plate. Well, flat stock. It's dirty, like all the metal I work with, for the most part. All right, so I'm gonna keep my air pressure where it's at, which is about between 25 and 28 PSI. I'm gonna bump this machine up to 30. I don't know if it'll cut it at 30, but we're gonna try it with that first and then see what we get. See if we can get this cut. It's cutting through it, but it's not cutting all the way. To be honest with you, I didn't think it would cut it at 30 amps. I think 30 amps would be more in the 1/4 inch range. I'm gonna go right up to 40. I don't think it's gonna have any problem at 40 amps. I'm gonna start a new cut. I'm not gonna go over that one. All right, guys, well, it cut it. It took me a few passes, however. I'm not gonna blame the machine for that. I'm gonna blame the lack of experience on my part. I don't think I'm going slow enough or smooth enough. So I'm gonna go real slow and try to cut this at 40 amps, 3/8 plate, doing one pass. It's right there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it is right there. Look at that. So it did it. One pass at 40 amps, nice and slow. You can look at that cut. It's a nice clean cut. So you can see 40 amps. It doesn't mind it. And look, guys, there's no dust. You guys, this is a great little machine. I'm thrilled that they sent me this. I've been wanting to get a plasma cutter for a long time. And again, like I said to you guys earlier, I didn't ask them to send me this. I know they watched the channel, and I guess they had seen that I didn't have any plasma cutting videos out. So I'm really thrilled that they sent me this. I'm gonna be done with it pretty soon. What thing? Yeah. Yep, I'll cut it for you. I love you too, bye. I got my first job coming with the plasma cutter. You'll see it when Allie gets here. All right, I'm gonna make a few more passes with this. I'm gonna bump it up to 45 amps. Just to see if I can get it to cut a little cleaner, faster. I could probably boost my air pressure. I think that's why I didn't get enough cut through. I'm gonna boost my air pressure up.
I'm like, big cookie sheet, so I don't want it.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah, I don't want it to look like a cookie sheet on the wall.
Alright, just gotta figure out how I'm gonna get rid of this edge. I guess I'll cut this edge off with the plasma cutter first, and then I can just run it through. I'll run it through the shear afterwards. Well, the jump shear.
Mush that out, maybe?
No, because you're gonna see that. Yeah. Are you covering this with something?
I wasn't gonna, because he's just gonna cover it probably with his picture. You know, they're like those square ones like you just bought me. So I don't want the edges to be. Can you round the edges maybe?
Yeah, I'll follow that.
And then you can just smooth it out so it's not sharp.
All right.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome.
You're the best.
I know I'm the best. Perfect timing. Allie's doing a little project for one of her friends at work, and I'm gonna cut the outside edge of this drip pan off. I'll stop there because I don't want to cut into the table. I'll flip it around. I'm gonna cut this outside edge off, and then I'm gonna bring it up top and then shear it and get it so it's nice and neat, and I'll radius the edges. She wants to eliminate where they stamped it. I'm gonna bump the amperage down. This is real thin stuff, 10 amps. I'm just gonna follow the edge. All right, let's see what we got. Your on-off switch on the back. Like I said, you have your air here. This is your drain on the bottom. So this tool, when you release the air, it will automatically spring up and it'll drain on its own. So if you do get any type of condensation of water in there, it'll automatically drain, so it'll self-drain. So again, these are your controls for the DS55. The CUT55DS rather. This is your amp control. You have, I'm not sure what these are. I have my glasses on and I still can't read those. It's your 4T and your 2T. I didn't get into that. I'll talk about that a little bit more in detail. This is a 110 220 volt machine. I'm running it on 220, as you can see. My 220 plug using this whip. If you'd like to see it run on 110, I can absolutely do that. I just want to get a video out to you guys. This is your torch. There's your nozzle. Got this cool little guide on it, which came in really handy tonight. The grip is comfortable. The gun itself, or the wand, is really comfortable. Got a good ground clamp to it. Let's see what we cut. So this is 18 gauge steel. I would drop the machine all the way down to 10 amps. It cut it no problem as soon as I cranked up my air pressure. And you have my 1/8 inch steel flat stock. That we cut at 20 amps. And this 3/8 material, the machine had no problem cutting this either. Once I kind of got the hang of the machine, I turned up the amperage to 40 amps and I cranked up my air pressure a few extra PSI, and it went right through that with no problem. I could keep going on and on, cutting and recutting and doing more, which I will be doing in the future with this machine. I'm really happy to add this machine to my tools. It's nice and compact. I can store that pretty easily just in the bottom. All these rollaway carts, you can fit that machine in there. I think that a really good thing to do would be get like a little tote, little Tupperware tote for the lead, for the ground clamp, which I have, just so things don't get damaged. And I don't have any more cords and hoses just floating around. So after things cool down and I'm not using it, I'll probably just pop all the components of the tool in here. And like I said, that's all the space this tool's going to take up, which to me, I know my shop is pretty good size, but the walls close in as soon as you start adding stuff like this. And to have a really useful tool like this and have it in a real small package, it's just a win-win. You're not sure about what plasma cutter to go buy? Do some research. Definitely give Yes Welder a look. I would certainly consider this machine. It's on the low end as far as cost goes compared to other traditional machines. There's a lot of different features that this machine has. Again, I'm not super familiar with plasma cutters, so I can't go into details in depth because I just don't have the knowledge. Right out of the box, a guy like myself, I don't have a lot of knowledge with plasma cutters. And within 10 minutes after setting it up, 5 minutes later, I was cutting steel. So if you're into building these old hot rods, or if you're a DIY home DIY guy and you have a use for a plasma cutter, this will cut steel, mild steel, stainless steel, and aluminum. Definitely something to look into. So definitely give them a shot. I have a partnership with Yes Welder, and Yes Welder is offering all of my viewers a discount. It's a 10% discount. If you go to yeswelder.com and on the checkout you use my code, which is TOHR10, you get an additional 10% off of anything that they sell on the website. It could be a plasma cutter, it could be a TIG welder, it could be an arc welder. They have MIG welders, they have aluminum MIG welders, they have helmets, accessories, safety equipment, all your consumables, everything you would need for welding or cutting steel that they have on their website. All right, as I was saying, my battery in my GoPro died. Anything on Yes Welder's website, you'll get 10% off. Right now, there's still a lot of like New Year's sales and Christmas sales that are going on. So if you jump on there, you may be able to get a really good price on this plasma cutter or welder, or welding helmets, safety equipment, gloves. They sell everything. So get on over to yeswelder.com, check them out. I would definitely recommend this machine. They sent this machine for me to try. They said give us an honest review, which I'm doing. I don't have a lot of knowledge. I really hadn't done any research on Yes Welder before they sent me this piece of machinery, but I've since been reading a lot of reviews, watching a lot of videos on YouTube, and from what I've seen online, everyone seems to be really impressed with these machines, as well as myself. Check out Yes Welder, yeswelder.com. Use the discount code TOHR10. You can see my breath. I gotta turn that heater back on. to get an additional 10% off of any of the equipment that they sell online. And they'll know that I sent you, and that'll help out me for the channel. And maybe they'll send me a TIG welder. I really want to get to work on my TIG welding, and I would love to have a TIG welder for the shop. You know, just to spread my knowledge, and to further educate myself as far as metal fabrication goes. So they're on the lower end of the cost scale when it comes to plasma cutters and welders. A lot of the tool reviews that I've watched on YouTube, that's all they do is reviews on tools. And those guys as well have all said, this little machine, for the cost, you can't beat it. So definitely give them a shot if you're in the market for a plasma cutter, a TIG welder, or a MIG welder. Use the code TOHR10 to get an extra 10% off, or 10% off of your purchase, and they'll know that I sent you. And they're looking to create some relationships and partnerships with YouTubers like myself, and I'm thrilled that they reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in doing a collaboration. I'm glad it worked as good as it did, because I'm definitely going to be using that thing. That's why I have a lot of the cutting tools and the different things that I have, because it's nice to be able to cut steel and not create dust. Those cutting wheels aren't good to breathe. We all use them. We all breathe in that crap that comes off of them. Most of us don't wear respirators when we're using cut-off wheels. I know myself, I don't. And it's a bad habit. So it's nice to have yet again another option. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. Hope you guys learned something, got some useful info from this video. If you haven't already, go check out the website. I got hats. This is a trucker hat. I got beanies, insulated beanies on there. And I got a few other items that I'm working on that are coming in the probably early spring. So hopefully the next couple of months. I'm going to do a quick follow-up on today's video. Obviously, you guys just watched the video of the plasma cutter. And some things I didn't really go over. I did a little bit more research on the machine last night, and I had mentioned some settings on the machine. There was 4T and then 2T, and what that is the 2T setting is typically the setting on this particular machine that you'll use to cut just solid steel, just like what I was doing last night. The 4T setting is used for mesh, so any type of mesh steel or mesh cutting. So I lucked out, I guess, in a way by using the 2T. I had watched a few other videos, like I had said, on YouTube, other channels that had done reviews on this machine, and I had recalled that that was the setting to use. So I'm glad I went with that setting. Another thing that I really didn't mention was it comes with some extra consumables, which is nice. You have a few extra cups, your nozzles. Not exactly sure what these are called. This is an extra fitting. I ended up using just a regular 1/4-inch air fitting on the back, and I just plugged my air line right into it. So I didn't end up using this second, it's like a quick connect, and you just push it in, and the hose would pop out. I don't know if you can really see it. I know you guys are a little far away, but if you were to grab it, push it in, the hose would just come right out. You want to reinstall it, just plug it in, push it in, and it stays right in there, seals, it locks itself in there good. So like I said, I ended up just using my own fitting. I had a female fitting, and I happened to have an adapter, a male-to-male adapter, so I did that, a female-to-female adapter rather. So I ended up going that route just so I could get the thing up and running. Again, I was really impressed with this machine, and I'm definitely going to be using it more without a doubt. I'm actually looking forward to getting into some of the littler projects on the T pretty soon. Lower cowl patches, quarter panel patches, or the bun panel patches. I'm looking forward to doing the aluminum on the dash insert. Whoop. So I got a little piece of aluminum here. This is big enough to fit all the way across the dash. So I'm gonna cover the dash in aluminum, maybe do some rivets or something like that, some brass rivets, like aircraft style rivets to kind of go with the era of the car. So little things like that, but I'm really looking forward to using this plasma cutter on that. So thank you to Yes Welder. I appreciate the people, those people, the company reaching out to me and asking me if I'd be willing or interested in doing a collaboration. And I'm glad I said yeah. It did everything that I needed it to do last night. I actually found an anvil, an old anvil that's 1/2 inch thick. I had it outside. I actually went around looking this morning to see what I had, and I had that. So I know I didn't work my way all the way up to a 1/2 inch plate. However, now that I know that I have that in the future, I don't want to not test the machine. They asked me to test the machine and give them an honest review. And my honest review up until the 3/8, cutting all the way up to the 3/8, this machine did everything that they said it would do. And I never even cranked the machine all the way up to 55 amps. I only kept it, I think it was at 40 or 45. All I ended up doing was boosting my air pressure just a little bit, and it cut through this 3/8 piece of steel really nice. I was racking my brain last night trying to figure out what did I use this material for, and I used it for the radius rod mounts on the T, where I mounted the inbound of the frame or the X member. I used this particular material to make those from. So I was wondering where I made those from. That was it. I kind of went over everything real quick on what you get with the machine. The machine is base priced, very reasonable, I feel, compared to a lot of other products or machines on the market that this little machine would compete with. If you're a small garage, you know, you're a backyard builder like I am, you have a smaller budget like a lot of guys do, I would jump on yeswelder.com, look at the reviews, jump on YouTube, tons of reviews, people using this machine, putting it through the paces, and from what I've seen online, everybody likes this machine, and I do too. So thank you to Yes Welder. Appreciate you guys reaching out to me. And again, if you guys are interested and you go to Yes Welder's website, at the checkout, you can use TOHR10 for 10% off anything you buy on the website. That will help me. That will let them know that you guys are watching the videos and you're going and checking out their products. They don't just have plasma cutters like I said earlier in the video. You name it, they have it. They sell consumables, they sell TIG rod, they sell welding wire. Go check them out. And again, shout out to Yes Welder. Thank you guys for reaching out. I think Allie's home. Thank you guys for reaching out to me. Hopefully we can continue this collaboration effort and maybe do some more product reviews in the future. I'm gonna go brush up on my TIG welding skills. That's why I want to get this bench cleaned up. I'd love the opportunity to try out one of Yes Welder's machines and see how it works. So thanks again, everyone. Appreciate it. Thanks for following along. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you guys know the next time I post up a video. See ya. Take care. Bye-bye.